Here. Okay, so this is my narration for this video. I'm not doing this live because I decided that it'd probably be easier to just explain what's going on. So what I decided to do was I decided to play the Gold Cup as Dr. Grudge this time, because in my previous Gold Cup video, well, firstly, that video was just all fail. Like, the aspect ratio was horrendous, and like, I'm pretty sure it was letterboxed, or maybe that was the Platinum Cup video. But anyway, I decided I'm gonna play through the Gold Cup here with a rookie car to try and demonstrate that I'm above being, unfair. Like, I'm playing with myself at an unfair disadvantage, and yeah, I'm still winning. And also I decided to play this on simulation difficulty, because now I'm considerably better at simulation difficulty than I was previously. So basically this video is me beating the Gold Cup and me explaining what's going on whilst it runs through. I don't know if I can add this as a second audio track in like YouTube or something. Maybe. If I can do that, that'd be pretty awesome. Having some kind of like narration that you can turn on and off, otherwise I might have to upload two separate videos. Anyway, this is the first track. This is Toys in the Hood 2, I believe. Hard track. Yep, there's Adian just shot me out of the way and smacked me into a corner. Adian is the best car and that races in the Gold Cup, but the thing is, you can't play with Adian until you've beaten the Gold Cup, which makes sense, I suppose. You can't play against Adian with Adian unless you're playing the multiplayer. So Adian's ahead. Funnily enough, Adian doesn't actually get too far ahead in tracks in Toy World, which is to come next, and Museum 1. Or actually, does he get... No, he does slightly get ahead in Museum 1, which will be at the end of this video. But, yeah, as you can see, I got lucky there. Like, I got blasted with a bomb that shot me over against the wall, and then I used the the last remaining electric charge I had to stop Adian and shoot past him. When you're playing with a rookie car against a bunch of semi-pros, the hell, thing went blank for a sec. I'm gonna have to fix that. When you're playing against semi-pros in a rookie car, you have to understand that you're not really going to be able to outgun them. If you're driving on a straight, they'll get past you easily. Like, you can race, you can't really race past them on a straight. But if you're turning corners, you have the advantage. There, smacked into the R6 turbo. You get the advantage there. So here's me turning around and yeah, going straight for the finish line. Don't worry, like, if you think I'm talking out of sync with the video, I'm not. Like, I just take a few seconds to process what's going on. Shooting around the curves. So when you're driving with a rookie car, the advantage you get to yourself is you have much better control than these other cars do, because they drive, and it went black again, they drive really fast and they can't control where they're going. They'll spin out considerably easier than Dr. Grudge will. Dr. Grudge is quite a weighty car. Like, he can't, well, he can't get knocked over because pest control is just being a pest. But yeah, pest control. I didn't cheat pest control this time. This is an entirely clean, unmodified build, although I may have some custom tracks installed. So yeah, there's me complete the race, and Adian was only 3 seconds behind me on that track. So we move on to Toy World 1, and I really like Toy World, because Toy World is a very simple track. It's got the curves it's very simple, it's very fast, you can get through it very quickly, and it's not a difficult track to master. Like, as long as you know how to drive straight, you can pretty much do it really well, and also you need to be able to turn as well, clearly. In this one, Panga's is taking the lead. Oh, incidentally, to you people who do watch my videos, I suppose, if you're keeping up with the Techno Prisoners or the Project IGI videos, they're coming. They're gonna come back. I have a new PC, you see, and I've been recording all this stuff on a new PC. As you can see, it's quite nice, but the lag spikes are still there. They're still there. Fraps is... I don't know why I use Fraps. Fraps is just kind of a pain in the ass to use. Oh, and you can see here, because the bit that you normally drive on around the top, the sort of cliff area that you jump off, the AI really likes to oil that place up whenever they get the chance to. So I was able to hit the bottom one. Now the thing is, you might be like, oh, you can just chop down that. Well, as you just saw, it's basically a staircase. It's not actually a ramp. So when you play this track in reverse, you can't actually go back up that way. As you might have seen, there's actually a passageway at the back. Reverse, the way they do Toy World as a reverse track is actually very clever. As you can see, like and just ahead of me as I shot past there was a bit that you go through. That you go through on the reverse side. Going through on the... well, I suppose the obvious thing to mention would be the fact that there's a big fuck-off jump at the end of the track. So, obviously you can't make your way back up there because there's no ramp that allows you to do that. Like, unless it's incredibly steep, which it won't be. So, there's a passageway you go through at the back. Makes sense. I really like the level design in this game. The level design is very, very cutesy. Although, for a toy shop, I don't know exactly what the scale of this is supposed to be. Is this place supposed to be quite big or quite small or something? I don't know, because it's very... it doesn't look like the kind of place that people would be walking on, especially if you have a big massive ramp like that. I mean, who the heck's gonna run and jump off that? Assuming an RC car can drive... Ooh, yeah, assuming an RC car can drive... It's quite small. An RC car is quite small, but it's not too small, if you know what I mean. Like, the average human is going to be fairly bigger, much bigger than an RC car, but not too big. Unless these RC cars are minuscule. And there's Bertha Ballistics. I noticed that, yeah, I just smashed into him there. I noticed that three laps, you might notice that I went 3 laps and Bertha still hadn't flipped over. By crashing into him, I was able to get him back over again and back onto the track. But wow, he sat there upside down without repositioning at all. Probably Bertha's AI, like repositioning AI, is probably broken because of his shape. You see, he could get knocked over but not think he's knocked over because he may be like balancing on his top that spins around. Okay, so yeah, first place again. Pole Pause was actually the first place for that one, or second place for that one. It was quite interesting actually because Pole Pause is normally last. Okay, so here's Titanic, and Titanic is Titanic gives you the, or at least when you're playing the championship, Titanic gives you the EMP at the start, which is quite interesting, I'd have to say. I'm not sure why they do that, but I'm willing to bet they think it's a hard track and they want to give you some kind of boost, but it doesn't make any sense. I personally think it's probably a bug that was left in by the programmers and ironically left in as a whole. Although, I claim originally made this game. It was recently republished by WeGo Interactive. Some of you guys have actually been messaging me asking me where I can get the game. Get it off GOG. That's all I can say. GOG sells it for a reasonable price, and even if you're not willing to pay for it, I'm sure there's torrent sites around there somewhere. As for me, I own this on GOG and have a CD copy back home. So, and as you can see, Alien shot in front of me. Alien will keep shooting in front of me, and basically this race was me basically just trying to keep up with Alien. And no matter what, I always flunk up, and Alien gets ahead no matter. Yeah, so I just bumped into the side there. This was actually quite interesting. I bump into Alien, give him my bomb, and then he pushes me and gives me the bomb back. That was probably a really stupid idea on my part. Like, I should have given him the bomb, then sort of pushed away from him to make sure he wouldn't give me the bomb back. But oh well. So now Alien's gotten in front, and this is pretty intense. I don't know, he dropped that firework, that's pretty cool. Like, he'll spin around and then start shooting back. Oh, that's a big ass black screen. Very big ass black screen. Don't know why Sony Vegas records with, like, when you put stuff in, Sony Vegas has black screens for stuff. I'll look through my recordings on my hard drive, and they might be black screens from Fraps, not from Sony Vegas, but I noticed that this problem has been inherent in Sony Vegas. Although no, it might not be inherent in Sony Vegas after all. It might be inherent in Fraps, because I had the same problem when I never exported these Revolt videos in Sony Vegas. I export them in Windows Media, Windows Movie Maker. Windows Movie Maker does export in a very nice format, as long as you have the right aspect ratio. The thing it doesn't do is, if you're not playing in a 16:9 resolution, it will letterbox it, and that's a bit problematic. But because the thing is, YouTube doesn't stretch videos if they're not in 16:9 format, which is a bit dumb, but it makes sense. I'm playing this in pure 1080, so I can upload this to YouTube, and there's no letterboxing, it's fine. And also, I'll try and get it out in the best quality I can. 1080p, anyone? Sounds good. I quite like that. Titanic's that ramp that goes through the little lifesaver is a bit quite funny. I didn't decide to go through that because when you're playing with a car that people can easily shoot past, it's not a good idea to try and show off. Not a good idea at all. Here. Oh god. I can't see anything right now. There's a massive, massive black screen in this recording. I don't know what's going on. I can't see anything right now, so you just have to bear with me. Okay, so there we go. Right. So yeah, that bomb. What's really annoying is that was the second time I scored a bomb at that exact same point from the exact same power up. So I ended up smashing into it. I ended up getting knocked over twice on that turn. At this point, Alien's considerably further in front, and then he must have flunked up somewhere along the line, but this is where things get pretty intense, because I've got 3 fireworks, and I want to try and make sure that I get first place. Spoiler alert, I do get first place, but you'll watch and see what happens. So he strikes me with his firework, I strike him with mine. We both hit the oil slick, but he slips out, which is pretty good. But the thing is, just because he slipped out doesn't mean he's out, and he managed to knock me down with the water there. And because this is a straight, and I hit him with the firework, he gets shot to the side, and I take the first place. Pretty damn good. I'm quite proud of that one. That was quite a good run. And now Museum 1. Museum 1, I hate it. I really do hate it. I hate it not because I as a technically advanced map, this is probably the most technically advanced one I've seen. Except for maybe Ghost Town 2. I quite liked Ghost Town 2. But this one is definitely the most technically advanced, because this one has the structure of this level. You have to go up through this sarcophagus thing, and then you have to jump off the cliff, and then you have to go in the middle through the dinosaur's legs, around the corner, and then back through the dinosaur's legs, but you don't go back up. Actually, playing this in reverse is a pain in the ass, because you only have one way you can go through, and you have to go through up the vent. See, when you jump off, you can actually go, either jump off or go through the little vent at the side. And up here you have two ways you can go. Now the one that everybody goes is this way, and this is a pain, because as you can see, I just got knocked over trying to jump over that thing. It's basically like a hanging rafter. But when you go up to the central staircase where the fossil is, there's two ways you can go. You can either go left or you can go right. And if you go left, you go under the table, you go around, and then you jump off the little ramp thing. But if you go to the right, which I didn't do in this video, I probably should have done, that was a bit naughty, but I didn't want R6 trying to get in front of me. If you go right, you end up in this sort of mini exhibit kind of thing that's behind all these laser beams, and what you can do is you drive down the way. So instead of taking the jump from the little like rafter thing at the top, the little ramp, you can actually just drive under it. You never really go that way though, because it's the more inefficient route, because this way is definitely faster, because you don't have to do the whole driving downwards thing. And the AI will never follow that route. I can never make that jump, it's such a pain, because it requires you to drive straight, and you're playing in simulation mode where your car physics are considerably more annoying than on console. But then again, well, the car physics are only slightly more annoying. I was quite relieved to see that simulation isn't actually too much harder than console, unless I'm just really, really good at this game. Some people have tried to make the argument about Hummer. Now, Hummer is... I don't like Hummer. I really don't like Hummer. The Hummer is a pro car that runs in the Platinums, and is normally the one that you race against. He's normally the one that gets in second when you're playing the Platinum Cup and riding the dinosaur there. When I play Platinum, I play Toyota. The reason I play Toyota is because Toyota has the best control of any pro car that I've raced. Although that's not true. I played as Cougar, and Cougar had quite a nice tight control as Toyota did. Toyaka's quite fluid. He's sort of like a motorbike. You have quite a nice gyroscopic movement. You can do steep turns without spinning out. Whereas with Hummer, if you tap in any direction, Hummer flies off in that direction. Hummer has a very, very, very sensitive turning, like incredibly sensitive. So if he's making steep turns, I guess it's really good, but driving in a straight line I find incredibly difficult, because if I try and orient him, no matter what, if I touch the arrow key, left or right, then he'll spin off in that direction. Now, I have a theory. Because I use arrow keys is digital input medium, it's either 1 or 0. You can't not press the key just like a tiny wee bit to make him turn a tiny wee bit. No. I figure if I was playing with a joystick or a gamepad, Hummer would be way, way, way better. But I digress. So yeah, this is the most technically challenging of the races that I've done. Like, when it comes to Gold Cup, this is always the map that I hated, because back when I was pretty newbie at this, I would drive and I would always spin out and everyone would get in front of me and I just bashed into Bertha. See, what's really annoying about this is you share the same path on this stretch because you have to go in, turn around and then drive back the other way. So when you turn corners you can get blindsided by anybody who's driving towards you. And I got lucky there. That pulse ball shot past me, but because I was in midair at the time, it didn't hit me. If the pulse ball, I believe, is above you, then you get hit with it. But if it's below you, you don't, which is pretty awesome, I have to say. And I figured for my last thing, I would just drop a mine there because I just wanted to be a dick. But I was quite surprised. Oh no, actually, wait a sec. When I pressed the pause button. Okay, so 16 seconds. Idiom was 16 seconds behind me. And I hadn't unlocked the special cup before I did this, so there, I've unlocked the special cup now. That's pretty cool. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed my narration whilst of this. I hate long goodbyes, so